Ooh. Welcome to another episode of Fuck the Mold, where we unpack boxes society tries to put us in. I'm your host, Jenna Lynn. Today we have with me our guest and my dear friend and queer comrade, Britt Keeman. She is a proud representative of the state of Maryland and anything Ravens related. Women love her, she loves women, and she is talking to us today about her villain origin story. Thank you so much for coming on, Britt.
Yeah, super stoked to be here. Thank you for having me. A little unwell today, but we'll power through. That's how I live my life.
So we are talking about coming out of the closet. We are talking about the queer experience and creating a transparent conversation around that. So we are just going to get right into it. How old were you when you came out?
Honestly, I came out in high school. Where I grew up was like super, I guess, like rural and kind of like behind the times. It was a red county, so I was about 15 when I came out. And at that time, there was only like one other openly gay person in my high school that was out. And it honestly, it took a lot of balls.
So you've always been a badass.
I guess. I don't know. So at the time, like I said, there's only one person out besides me. Try to do like the whole like dating dudes thing. And the guys that I typically went after at the time were, I don't know, like 6'2", like meatheads. I went for the most masculine type that I possibly could to see if that was for me. And obviously it was not. So here we are. My high school, man, it was rough. I got a lot of backlash for it, but it's just who I am. So
I'm trying to like picture you with a meathead.
dude, imagine me taking these guys to meet my dad. Like that was the fucking funny part of the whole thing. He was like, are you serious? And I'm like, yeah, like if I'm gonna date a dude, it's gonna be bigger than you. Like, I don't know.
What a metric.
God, dude, what a time.
Did you actually go out on dates with these guys? Like, or was it just kind of
like a few.
Okay.
Like, I'm not a gold star, so let's just put that out there right now. I'm more or less like a silver star. I don't.
You're like, we're close,
Yeah,
but
we're close. We're close.
What was like the aesthetic back then? Were we dressy? Were we still trying to figure it out?
Dude, I was always tomboyish. Always. My parents telling me when I was like 8 or 10, I had this favorite pair of pants, and it had like a rainbow stripe going down the side. And my stepmom would tell me, she's like, you drew nothing but rainbows. And I was like, well, it all came to fruition, didn't it? Like,
so the closet was clear.
The closet was actually like a forefront in everyone's mind. They just didn't want to admit it, but yeah.
So when you did come out, what was the initial reaction from family, friends?
Honestly, family wasn't too surprised. My dad and I had a little bit of like a falling out. Like I initially came out like as bi, just to, I guess, test the waters and find myself. And I told my dad I was bi, and like he wasn't raised like that. We kind of like didn't have a great relationship for a couple years. I like right out of high school. Telling my grandparents though, that was like super hard for me.
Yeah.
I remember I took them for ice cream and to try and soften the blow.
Yeah, a little sweetener.
They're sitting at this picnic table. I remember this like so vividly. I was like so fucking nervous, right? I looked at them and I was like, I'm gay. And like my grandfather looks at my grandmother and was like, what did she say?
What are the
I
words
was like,
coming
Pop,
out of
I'm fucking gay. Like,
what are these words you're saying right now?
Honestly, dude, from them being from that era, like I was so immensely fortunate that they were so like accepting of me. Like they came around a lot faster than my dad did, which was like shocking. Now me and my dad are like super close. We talk every day.
I mean, you FaceTime him every
Oh
time
my
we're
God.
out.
I love my dad. He's so cool. I took him to like his first fucking drag show, his first gay bar, and he had the time of his life. It was so cool to see.
Well, and I love to hear that about your grandparents. My mother's side, both of them have been passed for a very long time, but on my father's side, my grandmother passed about 3 years ago, and my grandfather's still here. And their views are just so old school. It's almost not worth it. You know, he's 85 or 86 now, and it's just kind of like, I know specifically like my grandmother, I know that would not have been anything that ever led to acceptance. I was told the statement before that being gay was a choice, and I was like, oh, okay, cool. Like,
shots fired.
Yeah,
being gay is a choice. Shots fucking fired, dude.
I definitely took a shot after that.
Oh God, I don't blame you.
With her. So
Jesus.
Did you have any representation at that time for what a queer relationship looked like?
Honestly, not too much. I kind of came out shortly after the L Word aired.
Oh, love that for you.
That was, I guess that was my representation. Like I said, like growing up in like Bel Air, dude. Like it's very like a red county, and it still is, but it's progressing more. Every time I go to visit my family, right, I always see like a lot more gay people out, and like just two women holding hands, like walking down Main Street. I'm like, dude, where the fuck was this 15 years ago?
Yeah.
Like, this is the reason why I left. You know what I mean?
How much do you think that would have kind of helped those formative years and those early years of coming out?
Immensely. If I were to see a couple when I was like 15, right, a couple like our age, you know what I'm saying, like walking down the street enjoying their life, not giving a singular fuck, I probably would have had a lot easier time coming out. You know?
Was there a big gap between when you knew that you were queer and then actually making the conversation happen with your family?
I don't really remember there being like much of a gap. I always knew that I was different. Like I would be like checking girls out with my dad when I was like 10 years old. You know what I mean? And
Love that bonding.
Clearly have a type. Like he likes blondes too. So if there was like a very attractive woman, like I would see like my 10-year-old self like staring at her like, wow, like she's beautiful.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? My crush when I was growing up was fucking Zac Efron.
Oh yeah.
I always thought Zach was like the hottest shit in the world. High School Musical days, you know, the hair.
Yeah. I mean,
Yeah,
fan favorite. I think
pretty
that
dude.
Everyone will agree with you.
Yeah, exactly. Like very pretty dude. Back in the day, that was like my hall pass if I was gonna sleep with a dude. So
I couldn't imagine giving you a hall pass to sleep with Zac Efron.
Yeah, a lot of people can. So you're not alone.
So obviously, we were all raised in a very heteronormative society. Once you did start dating women, you had experiences or expectations that hindered some of your experiences of having a WLW relationship.
So all my brothers have children, right? And I knew from a very young age that I just don't have that like mothering gene per se.
Yeah.
And I never wanted children. Like that was just one thing. And I think after I came out, that was, I guess, upset my dad a little bit because he wanted me to carry on like our legacy.
Yeah.
Like our bloodline.
Yeah.
I'm like, brother, it's not happening.
Not here.
I hate to disappoint, but like that's not for me, like that whole life. So I feel like that there's kind of expectations like, oh, are you still going to get married? Are you going to have kids? Or all these different things.
I know I had a lot of struggle finding women or men who, as someone who also doesn't want kids, who felt that same way. Did you feel that experience in the queer community that you still had trouble finding people who didn't want kids, or was that pretty easy?
Honestly, most of the people that I dated, they weren't really on board with kids, so I kind of lucked out in that aspect.
Love that for you.
I just dated the wrong fucking people. that was my problem.
Yeah, because I asked that early on. I'm like, kids? And as soon as they're like,
dude, you have to.
Yeah, they're so cute.
Like you have you.
Now
like,
we're
honestly,
just friends.
That's like first or second date type shit.
I'm a first date
because
hard
like,
questions
you
girl.
You absolutely need to lay out those freaking ground lines or ground rules.
Yeah.
Early on, because like it's so important. Like why would you waste a year of your life if you guys don't have the same values? In my current relationship, that's one thing that we did right. You know what I mean? It was a second date type thing. Like, do you want kids? Do you want kids? No. Like, what's your views on marriage? Like, do you ever want to get married one day? Because like we were both like previously engaged. That was important to lay that out.
As someone who was also previously engaged and I was young, there weren't conversations around making sure you're going in the right direction. For me, I always just thought, oh, as long as you're in love and you're happy, then that's enough. And I'm like, oh no, it's actually not enough. Like you have to be moving in the same direction, and that wasn't always the case. And I'm pretty sure that he wanted kids. He has a kid now, and so it's kind of like,
isn't that crazy to think about?
It's insane.
Like I have ex-girlfriends that have like kids too.
Yeah,
and they're like 3 and 4 years old. Like I couldn't even fucking imagine.
Well, and it's hard to imagine because like you had such a experience with this person, like they're a part of your timeline, and then to see that their life has gone so much different than you've imagined your life going, you're like, oh, I definitely see how we differ, and it's kind of reassuring too that it's like, okay, like you seem really happy with those choices, and I'm also very happy with my choices, and like I'm glad that worked out for the both of us. When you're young, you don't really get taught to have those conversations early, and you have to learn that those conversations are important.
Like 19-year-old engaged Brit isn't it a totally different person. You know what I mean? It's like,
say it isn't so.
Yeah. It's for the better, I think. I don't know. I had to go through a lot of shit to get here, so.
Since coming out, how do you think your gender expression to the world has changed? From your hair, your clothes, your style, obviously you had rainbow pants since you were out the womb, but
not the rainbow pants. If anything, I've gotten a little bit like more tomboyish. I'm comfortable wearing men's clothes. Like I only wear men's jeans from American Eagle. I like deeper pockets.
She has a brand.
Yeah, I do. Like I like the fucking pockets. Women's jeans don't have pockets, and I have shit to put in. I do not carry a purse.
I would like to
So
say, even for women who aren't more mass presenting, what is with the pocket epidemic? We want pockets.
yeah, we want fucking pockets.
Why is that so hard to ask
I don't
for?
know, man. Honestly, the pocket gate of 2025, it's gonna be on everyone's bingo card.
We should make a petition.
We should.
We're standing on the streets of Pride, like, would you like to sign our pocket petition?
Hey, you dropped your pocket.
Hey, it's a good hook.
It is. It's good. It's a good way
You
to
dropped
get
your
people.
you dropped your pocket. Sign my petition.
Yes,
More
absolutely.
pockets.
As far as like hair goes, I'm always gonna be, I guess, a stem. You know what I mean? Like I
Yeah.
still wear like eyeliner. I'm always gonna have long hair.
Yeah.
I'm just not that type of gay to cut my freaking hair off unless I'm, I don't know, 2006 Britney Spears feeling myself, shaving my head, which I don't think that's gonna happen because I love my fucking hair. That's like my thing.
Anyone who knows you now in your day-to-day life, it's like Brit has a brand. It's all black,
Definitely a lot of all
tomboy,
black.
backwards hat, you know. When did you kind of feel that comfortableness in like the transition? When did you finally feel like, okay, I feel like I've found me?
Honestly, probably like 5 years ago. I used to wear like a lot of color, used to be like a little bit more preppy. I'm like, who am I dressing for? Because I don't feel like I'm dressing for myself. I
Yeah.
feel like I'm dressing how society would like me to dress.
Yeah.
But fuck society.
Yeah.
So
I mean, that's what we're here for.
Yeah.
And it's also sometimes a little bit of a disconnect when you see other people. I see people all the time represented in media or just people I see out in the world, and I'll see their style and I'm like, oh my God, I love that. It's iconic. And then I try to put it on myself and I'm like, why is this not eating right now?
yeah.
And I'm like, it's because it's not my style, you know.
Exactly.
If you don't feel confident in it, it's just not going to resonate the same with everyone else.
I think we spin it back to the L word days.
Mm-hmm.
I've always resonated with Shane. This may come as a surprise,
I
but
don't think anyone's surprised by
I
that.
have Shane tendencies, okay? At least I used to.
Shane was my favorite character,
Dude.
and everyone looked at me and you're like,
Honestly,
they're like, you toxic bitch.
My favorite was Bet because she's just a
Really?
badass power bitch.
Yeah.
Yeah.
We do love that.
Dude, Jennifer Beals, man. If you're watching this, please hit us up. Get on the podcast. You're like my favorite person in the world, but either way. I always like resonated with like Shane's style. Maybe not so 2000s, but like more tomboyish, and I feel like that's honestly how I felt like most comfortable. Where she was like in her like little skater phase.
Mm-hmm.
I'm like, that's me, dude.
Yeah, when she had her little salon in the skate shop.
Yes,
Yeah,
dude,
it's a
that
good
was
vibe.
dude, that was such a fucking vibe. If I were to cut hair, I don't like touching people's heads. I think it's gross, but so I could never.
So niche, first of all.
I think it's like, ugh, like I don't know, man. Like I'm just like OCD and fucking like clean. You know, what
I
mean?
need
Like,
to
I
know
don't
if
like touch
there's
people's heads.
a word for that fear.
I don't know. It's not a fear. It's just like maybe I just don't want to do it. You know, it's like I'd rather not.
We'll unpack that at a later date.
Okay. Yeah.
How important do you think that was to see kind of someone like Shane represented in media, to be able to kind of pull inspiration from that, especially if you didn't have that in your hometown?
Oh, dude, super fucking important. And honestly, if it wasn't for like the L word or like a few like older like lesbian movies, like I don't think that I would have had the courage to come out or I guess live my true self.
Mm-hmm. It's hard. I mean, I know I have been back and forth with different types of style, and I try not to embrace just one because I feel like every day I wake up feeling super
I just
different.
never know what kind of like Jenna that I'm gonna get. Like, are
You
we gonna be
literally
like tomboyish or are we gonna be like super fucking femme?
Yeah,
like no one knows.
It's literally a
And so,
mystery.
yeah, it's like a surprise every time I see you.
That I had to really work through because I didn't have or see anyone who was kind of multifaceted in their fashion like that. I was like, oh, well, if I did feel days that I was more masculine, and then I would see people who were masculine, but they were masculine every day. And I was like, I don't really resonate with that. And then I would see people who were super femme every day, and I was like, I don't want to wear a dress every day or a skirt, you know. And then even in a singular outfit, mixing masculine and feminine pieces together is what I felt the most comfortable in. And that took a very long time to kind of
like you're wearing a fucking skirt, but you're rocking Docs right now. So
Stompers.
You got your shit kickers on. Better go fuck some shit up in a mosh pit somewhere.
You gotta be ready. So someone who obviously is a little bit more mask presenting, but you prefer women who are more feminine presenting.
Yes.
How have you felt that gender roles have been put upon your relationships? Opening doors or paying for dinner or kind of those gender expectations. Like, did that have any effect on your relationships as you navigated that?
Yeah, I mean, I think that affects in every relationship, whether it be straight or gay. I mean, I still open car doors for her, you know what I mean? And she does the same thing for me. The other day I changed her wipers because she's been putting it off for a year. You know
Not
what
a
I mean?
year.
Oh yeah, a year. It rains here. If
That
you
doesn't
didn't know.
surprise me though.
It's kind of like certain things like where she doesn't want to do them, I will step up to do them, like cleaning off the patio or
Mm-hmm.
grilling. Like I fucking love to grill.
Yeah,
You know, she does the annoying things that I don't want to do, like plan things. I fucking hate planning things.
I'm
I get
aware.
overwhelmed.
I'm very aware.
Yeah, I
Yep.
live a sporadic ass life. You know what I
I'm
mean?
surprised you made it here today.
Oh my, I was 15 minutes early. Okay.
I know, and I was running behind.
There's just certain things like we kind of like trade off in doing. I don't think there's any expectations. It's just certain things like you know that your partner doesn't want to fucking do. Like I don't want to sweep the damn floors.
Yeah,
And she sweeps the floors all the time.
yeah.
But I'll go clean the bathroom because she doesn't want to do that.
And maybe that's not so prevalent in your relationship now. When you were still dating, did you feel that anyone kind of had a unhealthy relationship with what that looked like in terms of too much expectation on you?
I think a lot of the girls that I was like hanging out with, not even like dating, whatever, having a time with,
Yeah.
let's just say that. I think a lot of them
I need that on a t-shirt.
Oh God. I think a lot of them expected for me to like pay the bill or like pick them up. And I'm like, no, motherfucker. Like, we both have vaginas. Like, I'm not paying the bill just because I look like I do.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? If we're just hanging out and it's casual, then why the fuck do I have to pick up the check?
Yeah.
Like, we're splitting that hoe.
Yeah. We love a good split.
Yeah, have to. Missy and I still split shit. You know
Yeah.
what I mean? We split a majority of our things, like rent, everything.
And I would assume that those are open and honest conversations that you guys have before that, kind of understanding this is just how our relationship functions. Like I do these things because they bring you a lot more value, and
Yeah,
then
exactly.
you do these things.
We
So
actually just had a conversation about this, I don't know, a couple weeks ago. So pretty recent. But it was never really like an expectation kind of thing. It
yeah.
was more or less like, let's just live our lives and see how that plays out.
Now, I know, and educate these people. I know you don't give a fuck about anything.
I really don't.
But I'm curious, are there still any expectations of society that ever hold you back from expressing your true self? You know, especially you're saying only 5 years ago you really felt comfortable with that.
To be honest, I mean, you said it best. I really don't give a fuck about anything or people's opinions or, you know, how they perceive me. Like, I'm going to live my life how I see fit. If you don't like it, there's the fucking door.
Yeah.
To be honest, like, we're getting older and nobody has time for bullshit. I've kind of cut out all this, like, negative thinking of, oh, what if this person doesn't like me because of the way I'm fucking dressed? Corporate America, as you're very familiar with,
Yeah.
or at least were.
I left that hoe.
I work in like government contracting, so I have to show up in like business attire, like business casual, you know what I mean? Every fucking day, like I'm rocking like a polo, khakis, and just Vans. Like that's just me. Thankfully, like my job is like super supportive, and like half of my office came to fucking Pride.
Love.
Yeah, it was crazy. I had like 10 coworkers that came out, which
Yeah.
is insane. I feel like if there's any situation that's like not really like accepting, just be yourself, dude. Honestly, you're not going to be happy unless you're being yourself, no
Yeah.
matter what that looks like for you. The way you dress, like how you act, just live you.
How does that feel, especially in corporate America, to have such a accepting workplace, you know, and
Yeah,
kind of feel
it's
like you're
amazing,
working for
dude.
someone who supports just your who you are in general?
Yeah, it's amazing. It was definitely an important aspect.
I worked for a engineering firm right out of college, and they are very red. It was government contracted, but
boy.
the owner, his wife was in politics, and she was red, and so it was very heavily based in red politics. And I think I just got to a point where I was like, you know, the company culture wasn't bad. It was a chill place to work, but I knew that I was supporting and putting my money and my greatest asset of time towards this company that didn't even believe that I should have rights, you know, at the grand scheme of things. And so I was like, you know what, there are companies out there who will support open people and different gender expression. And I was like that, and it just became really important to me at a certain level. And I was like, no, there are companies out there who will do that and support that and be vocal about their stance on some of these social issues, and that just became really important to me, and I had to make a change.
Dude, a toxic work environment is the last thing that you need in your life. Like, if
Yeah.
you break down your time and how much you spend at work, it's just not worth it.
Yeah,
You
and
know
it's
what I
usually
mean?
not just 40 hours.
Yeah,
Like,
never is.
no.
I still take calls on weekends.
Especially, so you're in sales, it's like,
Yep.
if somebody's calling me, like, I'm trying to
My
make the
phone
sale.
rings
Yeah.
constantly. Gotta answer that call.
When money be calling.
Yeah, when money be calling, don't answer the one from the streets. Don't answer the street. If the streets are calling, you hang up that damn phone right away. No streets, man.
But when money calls.
Yeah, money's different.
You got different ringtones for those. We've got like boats and hoes going off, and you're like, we can't answer that one. Well, and like you alluded to earlier, you are engaged now.
I am.
Full congratulations to you and Missy.
Prayers to her. Thank you for putting up with my shit, because it's a lot.
Everyone pray for Missy.
Yeah.
She's so proud of you, though, because you've come a long way. Because you didn't really date before her.
Well, I mean,
it was like short stints. Like, I feel like there wasn't really too many formative relationships.
yeah, absolutely not.
Wrong.
It was insanely casual. Before that, I got out of like a super toxic relationship. She wound up like cheating on me. We got back together for God knows what fucking reason. We thought moving down to Florida would solve all of our issues, so we bought a house. We fucking broke up. She kept the house and I moved out. And I've been living my best life in Tampa and St. Pete ever since. So,
what do you think that the current climate on queer marriage and things like that, has that played a role in your timeline for you guys at all? Or
yeah, I mean, we definitely discussed that. As soon as Trump got elected, we were kind of like, oh fuck, like what is going to happen? Because we just got engaged in October, right?
Yeah.
So we like had like serious ass conversations, like, hey, like we might have to go down to the fucking courthouse tomorrow and pick up our marriage license and paperwork. Like, it's getting to be that serious. It definitely still is.
I'll just wait for my text. Like, you tell me to put on my stompers and make it to the courthouse, I'm there.
We definitely had like these serious ass conversations, like, hey, like we might have to move up our timeline. And right now we're looking for like February, like we're trying to get married on our anniversary next year, which I'm super stoked about. But dude, planning a wedding is so fucking stressful, because then you have to like go down and you have to like narrow out like who's gonna be here and who's gonna be fucking pissed if they're not invited.
Yeah.
We're at that point now where we're like, even like some family that are really fucking red. You know what I mean?
Yeah. Like, this is our experience.
Yeah, this is our fucking day. We don't need you to tell us how we're going to fucking hell and this, that, and the third. You know what I mean? And we're terrible fucking people. Like, obviously you're not coming.
Yeah.
And what the fuck?
I don't know how far you made it into any wedding planning when you were engaged, but I definitely made it through a guest list.
It was not very far. It was short-lived. It was short. I was stationed over in Japan. It was not a good situation at all. But
of course the non-planner wasn't already planning.
Yeah, it wasn't fucking me, dude. Absolutely not. I plan one thing in our wedding that I want everybody to show up in all black, no exceptions. That's my thing.
I will keep that in mind as I start shopping.
Yeah, please.
I'd love to thrift a dress.
Call Kristen too.
Okay, I will do that. I would love to thrift a dress if that's possible. We'll see what
wear whatever you want.
We'll see what the thrift gods have for me.
It's gotta be all black, baby.
Okay, I got you. As I was going through kind of the guest list, there was this kind of sounds so terrible, but like, who's important enough, you know? Because you spend so much money per head.
Like, we're saving upwards of like $10,000-$11,000 when we're all said and done.
Yeah. I got a lot of pressure from my parents. They were like, you're not inviting this person? I'm like, no,
like we don't fucking talk anymore.
Yeah, like it's fine.
We went to camp when we were 12, okay?
Yeah. Well, and if you're in someone's life, stop being so butthurt when you're not invited to the wedding.
Yeah,
like,
dude.
It's their day. It's about them. I think now I've kind of narrowed it down. I'm like, I'm gonna have a super small wedding so that like almost no one can get offended, because I'm like, oh, a lot of people didn't get invited.
To be honest, like, you're talking about society norms, like we're getting married before we have our wedding party. Like, we're only having a wedding party. We're not having like a traditional wedding. Neither one of us like wanted that.
Yeah.
Like, I'm not trying to have my dad walk me down an aisle.
Yeah.
I know maybe Missy might want that, and she can still have that.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? But we're going to do our own thing. Weddings are so expensive, and like, we honestly don't want that. It's going to be small. It's going to be intimate. It's going to be a little bougie. We're going to have some pretty good food and a fuck ton of booze. So that's what we want.
Well, I've got one more question for you. I
Oh,
always
boy.
end it on asking for advice for people who are going through similar things. But I want to,
Okay.
before we get into that, I want to just thank you so much for
Yeah,
coming
dude.
on the podcast.
Absolutely. I had a
Uh,
blast. It
and
was fun.
yes, well, I mean, it's us. So, of course,
Yeah,
we're
I
having
mean,
fun.
we have conversations like this anyway, so it's just being recorded for the
Yeah,
world to see and
for all of you guys.
hopefully take in. And I hope you guys enjoyed my life story. I don't know.
Yeah, and just really being transparent for people to be able to have these open conversations with their friends, because I am no surface level girly. So
Yeah, you
what
like to dive deep. I
you're like, I'm just trying to have a beer, and I'm like,
girl,
hey,
we've
can we
known
talk
each
about your
other for
trauma?
like not even a year yet, and we've gotten to some deep ass conversations, but we clicked very quickly. So
You're welcome.
yeah, huge. I'm like looking at myself in the mirror and I'm like, am I doing this wrong? I don't know. Do I not know how to life anymore? Maybe I should ask Jenna. I don't know.
I don't know if listening to me is the right move. I've been flying on
Oh,
delusion
shit.
lately, so.
All right.
So what is some advice that you would give for people who are struggling to come out or live that transparent lifestyle, especially if they think that their friends and family aren't going to be as supportive?
I would honestly say just go for it. Like, if you're not living your true self, then you will be unhappy for the rest of your life. No matter what people think. I know that I have like this I don't give a fuck attitude, whatever else, but it took me a long time to get here.
Yeah.
I think it's super, super important just to live authentically and to be you. And if you guys need courage, advice, look me up on the socials. I'll talk to random people. Like, I don't care. Like, if you need like a little push or whatever. But yeah, it's just super important to just do it. Like, don't hold back. Your life is so short already. If you're unhappy, then what's the point of living it?
Well, and
You
it's
know?
kind of a conversation of, are you going to be unhappy for the rest of your life to make these other people happy that
Hmm.
they're probably still not going to be happy, you know, even if
Yeah, exactly. If they're not happy and you aren't, then what the fuck? Like, Missy came out later in life. She kind of like grew up in like a rural area of Michigan too, and had pretty much zero representation of being gay. It wasn't until she moved to the city, like to New York, then she came out at like 27. I was like thinking to myself, I'm like, damn, like everyone's journey like really is different. I couldn't imagine coming out at 27. You know what I
yeah.
mean? Personally, like if I didn't do it as young as I did, like I would be fucking miserable, dude. I've always like just felt that it's important to just be yourself. So
You know, and I came out at 28, and
yeah.
I think that a lot of people kind of have that similar feeling of, you know, how you had this big disconnect of how you grew up and how you're feeling. But,
Hmm.
you know, for me, I was bisexual, so it was a little bit easier because I had a portion of me that did fit society's mold,
Yeah.
and I just kind of leaned into that because I was scared and I was afraid of what that could look like. And, you know, if I lost my family and friends, like, you know, I just wasn't at a place that I was ready for that. So for someone who knew that they were just completely queer, I could imagine going an additional, you know, almost 15 years living this inauthentic
Crazy.
life. It's like, oh my God, no.
I couldn't have done it, man.
Yeah.
I've
Because I
met
know how that felt, and that was only half of me, you know?
Yeah, one of the reasons too, like why I wanted to leave Maryland is it's not a very gay area. You
Yeah.
know what I mean? St. Pete and Tampa, like super gay friendly. Find your tribe.
Environment is everything.
It really is.
Find your
Honestly,
tribe.
if you're miserable in your fucking hometown, fucking leave. There is my advice. Leave. Like, go start anew. Have yourself a freaking journey, dude, because 10 out of 10, it's going to be worth it. You're going to
Yeah.
experience the world and experience so many incredible people. So,
Find that environment that fosters what feels like you. Thank you so much again for
yeah,
coming on.
absolutely. It was
I
a blast.
appreciate it so much. And I will link her socials as well. Anyone reach out to her. She is a blast, a ball. She will talk to a wall. So
Yeah.
thank you guys so much for listening to today's episode. We will see you next week to unpack some more boxes society tries to put us in. Thanks for watching. Bye, guys.
All right.